Our present experience is fully shaped by our views of our past and our future. They call the past a reconstruction. And so it's the present that shapes the meaning of the past.
I was preparing for this. I was actually getting fired up when I was reading your work and watching some of your videos, because there's this notion in self-help, entrepreneurship, personal development that you can be focused on the present and the future.
Yep.
You stipulate, not so fast. What about mastery over your past? Okay, this is profound. I've actually never heard this before. And then when I heard it, I went, I agree. They're right. So what about mastery over your past? Why does that matter? And what do we need to believe about our past?
Yeah. So from a psychology standpoint, our present experience is fully shaped by our views of our past and our future.
This is huge.
Yeah.
And people are unaware of this.
Yeah. Like we say, live in the present, ignore the past and the future. But everything I do, even how I'm interpreting what you're saying, is going to be shaped by my filters. And so how I've heard it said is that positive psychology, a positive experience in the present, means I have a useful and even positive past, and I have a very purposeful and compelling future. If I've got both of those things, my present experience is going to be very good. It's going to be very powerful. And so I'm not going to be hitched by my past, and I'm also going to be purposeful and present in my, it's interesting, you want a future that allows you to be present and intentional. So in terms of mastery of the past, one of my favorite quotes, and I'm sure you've heard me share it, but it's more accurate to say that the present causes the meaning of the past than to say that the past causes the meaning of the present.
Okay.
And so a lot of people think that the arrow of time is moving forward, so the past into the present. But from a psychological standpoint, it's actually the present that always is bringing up the past. They call the past a reconstruction. And so it's the present that shapes the meaning of the past. I right now can be shaping even, the teleprompter, whatever happened, like I get to decide what that means in the present. So do you. And when you start to take ownership of the past, basically you're being an agent. So like I get to decide what my past means.
Right.
I get to determine if it's useful or if it's not useful. I get to determine if I'm frustrated about it or liberated by it. And so it takes a lot of emotional development. It takes a lot of, honestly, like just skill. Like it just takes skill to, well, they call it psychological flexibility.
Yes,
you got to be
it's one of my questions. What is psychological flexibility?
Yeah, so let me break this down, continuing to talk about the past.
Okay.
So if I'm not psychologically flexible, then what I believe is that what happened in the past is driving me, and that I've got no say over it, I've got no control over it. Whereas if I'm psychologically flexible, I can see it from different perspectives, but I'm also not hitched to the emotional experiences I had when those were happening. So like as an example, have a bad day, something doesn't work out. If I'm flexible, I can see it from different perspectives.
Yes.
I also get to define what I get to do with it. I get to say, well, here's why I can use this to have a better present and future.
Yes.
And so that takes a lot of flexibility. It even takes a lot of flexibility to start imagining your future and operating from your future. A lot of it's mental flexibility, seeing things from different perspectives, but also emotional flexibility, not being dogmatic in acting from how you currently feel.
Listen, everybody, this is important what he's saying. Your past does inform your present and your future.
It does, huge.
Because it's your only reference point.
Totally.
And so when I heard it, I went, he's right. So your past frames everything you're seeing and doing now.
But you're the one now who frames your past.
Correct. You're the one who frames your past. So if you can change your relationship or your frame with your past, you have a whole lot better shot of having a compelling present and future.